Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, grabbing your phone and seeing a weather alert. But it doesn't say heavy rain. It just says, sunlight out of range, temperatures dropping, seek shelter immediately. What if I told you that the scariest, most unhinged apocalypse scenario isn't a meteor strike, an alien invasion, or a zombie virus? No, the most terrifying thing that could ever happen to humanity is getting completely evicted from our own neighborhood. I'm talking about Earth getting violently ripped out of the solar system and becoming a rogue planet. Just a lonely rock, floating in the infinite pitch-black abyss of deep space, with zero sunlight, zero heat, and absolute zero aura. If this happened, the human race would officially be cooked. No cap, but exactly how cooked. How long would it take for the oceans to freeze solid? What would happen to the atmosphere? And is there any reality, any universe at all, where humanity actually survives this massive L and finds a way to let our species cook in the dark? Buckle up, because the science behind this is completely mind-blowing. It's going to make you want to go outside and touch grass while you still can.
Hey, welcome back to MindSpark, the place where curiosity comes alive. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what would happen if things suddenly changed instantly? Stick with me, because the answer is way more shocking than you think.
Welcome back to MindSpark, the only channel that gives you an existential crisis before breakfast. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, because today we are diving deep into some absolute nightmare fuel. Now, before we get into the crazy details, we need to talk about how this even happens. Earth is pretty comfortable, right? We're chilling in the Goldilocks zone, the sun gives us a perfect tan, our plants do their little photosynthesis dance, everything is totally valid. We have extreme main character energy in this solar system. The universe literally does not care about us. Enter the villain of our story, the rogue star. Space is massive, but it's full of these nomadic stars that just wander around the galaxy with no fixed address. Imagine a star way bigger than our sun, moving at millions of miles per hour, just pulling up to our solar system completely unannounced. It doesn't even have to hit us. It just has to get close enough. Gravity is the ultimate unspoken riz. If this massive star passes by, its gravitational pull would completely disrupt the delicate balance of our solar system. It's a classic physics concept known as the three-body problem, and it usually ends with the lightest object getting completely yeeted into the void. That's right, Earth gets slingshotted out of the solar system at incredible speeds. No warning, no backup plan, just instantly evicted. So what happens next? Let's break it down day by day, hour by hour, as the lights go out on humanity. Welcome to Chapter 1. The very first thing we'd experience is actually nothing. At first, because light takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel from the sun to the Earth. We would have exactly 8 minutes of normal daylight left before everything changed forever. When that 8-minute timer runs out, it wouldn't be like a sunset. The sun wouldn't slowly dip below the horizon. It would just shrink, dimming rapidly as we get hurled away at millions of miles an hour. Within a matter of hours, the sun would look like nothing more than a particularly bright star in the sky. And then total, unending darkness. Welcome to the dark era. The immediate panic would be entirely unhinged. You'd have global gridlock, absolute chaos, and governments completely collapsing. But the social collapse wouldn't even be the scariest part. The real enemy is the thermometer. You see, without the sun's radiation baking our planet every single day, Earth's heat starts radiating out into space. And space is insanely cold, like -455 degrees Fahrenheit cold. Within the first 24 hours, the global average temperature drops below freezing. And that's just the start. By the end of the first week, we're looking at an average global temperature of 0 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 18 Celsius. Every single plant on the surface of the Earth is officially cooked. Photosynthesis? Cancelled. The entire foundation of the global food chain is wiped out in a matter of days. By day 30, the situation goes from bad to I literally cannot even. The average global temperature hits minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 45 Celsius. At this point, the surface of the planet is entirely uninhabitable for unprotected humans. If you step outside without serious, heavy-duty Arctic gear, you're freezing to death in minutes. Our beautiful blue oceans, yeah, they're starting to freeze over too. The surface of every lake, river, and ocean turns into a massive, solid sheet of ice. Earth is losing its beautiful blue aura and turning into a giant, depressing snowball. But hold on, because if you think that's bad, you have no idea what's coming in Chapter 2. Because it's not just the water that freezes. The air is about to freeze. All right, we are a few months into our journey as a rogue planet. We are hurtling through the terrifying void of interstellar space. The sun is completely gone from view. The stars look brighter, but they are cold, distant, and offer absolutely zero comfort. By the 1-year mark, the global temperature plummets to a mind-numbing minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 73 Celsius. At this temperature, the Earth's surface is completely locked in ice. But here is the most mind-blowing, completely unhinged physics fact of this entire scenario. Gases have freezing points, too. You know how water turns to ice when it gets cold? Well, the air we breathe, mostly nitrogen and oxygen, will literally turn into a liquid, and then a solid if it gets cold enough. First to go is carbon dioxide. It freezes out of the atmosphere and falls to the ground as dry ice snow. So, if you were somehow standing outside in a spacesuit, you'd be standing in a blizzard of dry ice. But that's just the appetizer. Fast forward a little further as the temperatures keep dropping toward minus 300 degrees Fahrenheit. The oxygen and nitrogen in our atmosphere, the very stuff keeping us alive, the literal shield that protects us from space, condenses into a liquid. Imagine looking outside and seeing a torrential downpour of liquid oxygen and liquid nitrogen. It would literally rain the atmosphere out of the sky. The oceans of water are frozen solid, but on top of that ice, you'd have shallow, terrifying oceans of liquid air. And once the temperature hits roughly minus 355 degrees Fahrenheit, that liquid air freezes solid. The Earth's entire atmosphere collapses and forms a 30-foot thick layer of frozen nitrogen and oxygen ice all over the globe. The sky is gone. The air is gone. The Earth has zero aura left. We are a naked, frozen rock exposed to the absolute worst that the universe has to offer. If anyone is still on the surface, they are definitely 100% cooked. But what if we didn't stay on the surface? What if humanity pulled off the ultimate clutch play? Let's let humanity cook for a second. Enter the mole people era. Believe it or not, humanity wouldn't just roll over and take this massive L. We are remarkably stubborn creatures. As soon as we knew the rogue star was coming, the governments of the world would realize the surface was doomed. The only valid strategy? Dig. While the surface of the Earth is freezing out into deep space, the core of the Earth is still incredibly hot. And I mean hot. The Earth's core is about 10,800 degrees Fahrenheit, 6,000 Celsius. That is literally as hot as the surface of the sun. We don't need the sun to keep us warm if we can tap into the immense, radioactive heat of our own planet's core. Places like Iceland, New Zealand, and Yellowstone, places with massive geothermal activity, would become the most valuable real estate in the history of mankind. Humanity would build massive, hyper-advanced underground bunkers powered entirely by geothermal energy and nuclear reactors. We'd use nuclear power to melt the ice above for fresh water. We'd use artificial UV lights to grow genetically modified crops in massive vertical hydroponic farms. Meat would be entirely lab-grown. Your daily routine would be completely wild. You'd never see the sky, you'd never feel the wind, and you'd never touch grass again. And we wouldn't be the only ones surviving. Deep, deep down at the bottom of the frozen oceans, there are places called hydrothermal vents. Down there, alien-looking creatures like tube worms and blind crabs live in total darkness, surviving off the chemical heat coming from the Earth's crust. To them, the sun is completely irrelevant. If the Earth left the solar system, these deep-sea ecosystems wouldn't even notice. They'd just keep vibing in the dark while the humans above had a complete existential meltdown. So humanity is underground, surviving on geothermal copium. But we aren't safe yet, because now we have to navigate the deadliest neighborhood in existence, the interstellar void. Let's zoom out for a second. We are now officially a rogue planet, traveling through the space between the stars. It's not just empty out there, it's an active war zone. When we were in the solar system, the sun gave us this massive, protective bubble called the heliosphere. It deflected highly charged, lethal cosmic radiation from deep space. It was basically Earth's ultimate deflector shield. Riz from the sun, honestly. But without the sun, that shield is gone. Our magnetic field would still block some stuff. But without the heliosphere pushing back, Earth would get absolutely bombarded by galactic cosmic rays. This high-energy radiation would literally mutate DNA and destroy electronics. Our underground cities would have to be buried incredibly deep, shielded by thick layers of lead, rock, and water, just to keep us from getting fried by the universe's background radiation. And radiation isn't the only threat. The void is completely pitch black. If we are traveling at millions of miles an hour, we are flying completely blind. What if we smash into a dark nebula? What if we cross paths with another rogue planet, or a rogue black hole? We would have almost no warning. If our frozen Earth collided with a rogue asteroid the size of Texas in the pitch dark, there is no Bruce Willis movie that saves us. The underground cities would collapse from the shockwaves, and that would be the final, ultimate L for humanity. Generations of humans would live and die underground. Your great-great-great-grandchildren would think the sun was just an old fairy tale, a myth about a giant ball of fire in a blue ceiling. The mental toll, the claustrophobia, the absolute unhinged reality of living in a metal tube while traveling through a cosmic graveyard it's out of pocket. But what if this story has a happy ending? What if, against all astronomical odds, we hit the jackpot? Let's talk about the ultimate W. Space is vast, but it's not infinite. We are traveling incredibly fast. What if, millions of years from now, our frozen little snowball of an Earth approaches a new star system? The odds of this happening are mathematically insane, like winning the cosmic lottery 10 times in a row. The angles, the speed, and the gravity have to be exactly right. But if we approach a star at just the right trajectory, we wouldn't crash into it. Instead, its gravity would catch us. We would fall into a brand new orbit. Imagine being an underground descendant of humanity, looking at the seismic monitors and realizing the surface temperature is rising. The 30-foot layer of solid nitrogen and oxygen would rapidly melt, turning back into liquid oceans of air and eventually boiling back into a breathable gas atmosphere. The oceans of water would begin to crack, melt, and flow once again. We would likely end up orbiting a red dwarf, the most common type of star in the galaxy. Our new sun wouldn't be yellow, it would be a massive, deep crimson red. The sky would look permanently like a blood orange sunset. humanity could finally open the massive steel doors of our subterranean bunkers. We could step out onto the surface of an Earth we haven't seen in a million years, take a deep breath of fresh air, and look up at a brand new alien sky. We'd be back, baby. The biggest comeback story in the history of the universe. So if Earth got violently evicted from the solar system, it wouldn't necessarily be an instant game over. It would be an absolute nightmare, an unhinged gauntlet of ice, radiation, and mole people survival. But humans are resilient. With enough geothermal energy, a lot of luck, and some serious WRIZ, we might just survive the long dark to see another sun. But I want to know what you guys think. What was the most mind-blowing fact in this video? Was it the atmosphere literally turning into snow? Or the fact that deep-sea crabs wouldn't even care that the sun was gone? Drop a comment down below right now with your most mind-blown moment. If this video gave you a massive existential crisis, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to MindSpark so we can keep giving you more mind-bending science every single week. Stay curious, touch some grass while the sun is still shining, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
If this video made you think even for a second, hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe to MindSpark for more mind-blowing ideas and tell me in the comments what topic we should explore next. Until next time, keep your mind curious,